He's DJ Switzer. He's Jeremy Lance. I'm neither of those guys. I'm your host for this evening. Welcome to CST, our live show on Mondays. It looks a little different because it is a little different, but it's still episode 458. We're going to do sort of like a jersey swap mash up, but we're also going to have a little bit of a flashback. We're going to be bringing in our favorite guys from wrong side of the pond. It's been a while since we've seen them, heard from them together. Not necessarily in the same room, but maybe the same operating devices. So it's good to have them both here, DJ Switzer and our guy, Jeremy Lance. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm glad to not be hosting tonight.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm here
duties.
for. I'm running by the seat of my pants. Usually I'm recording. And so live is not necessarily my big issue. But, we also have this week, a lot of people are on vacation. A lot of people tackling open day and March Madness. I think we sort of put everybody together at the right time, at the right seasoning. And we're going to talk about the U.S. Men's national team and this big international break that we have right here, all prep for the World Cup coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened, what didn't happen with Pochettino's guys. And then we're going to finish up. We're going to look into our own jerseys and look into what MLS considers good jerseys this year. So we're going to have sort of a little jersey swap at the end. I thought it'd be kind of fun. Glad that everybody's here to join us. And, just bear with me being the host and babbling on at times. But we'll get you to the end here. I'm already flailing right there. So we'll start off with our first segment, What's Hot, What's Cold, brought to you by Apollo Home. And we're going to apply this to either club or country. So people that are new to this, DJ, you might also be new to this. We ask, what is hot? What is cold in your opinion? So let's start with DJ. What, in your opinion, do you feel is hot right now, this very instant?
I mean, in this exact moment right now, the hottest thing that I can see on the soccer horizon is Roberto De Zerbi. He's about to take over our club, Geoff, it sounds like. And whether he does well or doesn't do well, he's going to get a fat paycheck because Spurs are burning through managers and giving people severances like they're, candy. So he's got to be the hottest thing in football at the moment, if you're asking me.
It feels like everybody's been given a chance for this. The rumors were Ben Davies could even be a player coach for this. So myself, I'm like, oh, okay, do what you can. Just don't make it hurt anymore. So let's stay on DJ. How do we do this, guys? Do we stay?
We'll stay hot. We'll stay hot.
Okay, Jeremy, give me what's hot for you.
Well, I'm gonna stick with the theme of Tottenham managers, past and present, and future possibly, and go with the Poch out crowd within the U.S. Men's national team fan base. That's what hot. The flames of their hatred for this man that always existed, and honestly, regardless of the weekend's result, was going to probably be the same. But they got the feel they wanted. They never liked the move in the first place. They wanted their, brilliant fill-in-the-blank manager that they had that was just going to be the magic bullet for everything. And they got the result that they wanted to feel that. So that's what's hot right now is the Poch out crowd. They are just in full swing right now. And what a time to do that as we're, just like 70 days away from the World Cup.
It's funny because if you were 70 days in the past, everybody would be like, Poch in. He's the best thing since sliced bread because they had won these games against Paraguay and Australia, two teams expected to do well or decently. So kind of surprising to hear those voices in full force all over again. I'm going to step really quickly onto mine. I'm going to say Pavel Buka. I mean, it's great to have an FCC guy representing his team, even though he hasn't officially made an appearance for the Czechia team. Unfortunately, he wasn't on the bench or in the starting 11, but he's still with the team. His first time ever.
And he's not hurt. I know that was the first fear we all saw when he didn't make the 18 for that first one. I was like, oh, crap.
He's not hurt. He's not drinking alcohol in front of a camera. Well, we can get to that later on. If people haven't heard the news about our good friend Teenage Hadebi, unfortunately, but that might be somebody's what's cold. So let's move over to you, Jeremy. What's cold for you?
What's cold was the I mean, it was a good idea. It just didn't work out. So it was cold as far as the result not being what you wanted, and that was in the USL this weekend. Oakland Roots, who I believe is managed by former FC Cincinnati assistant coach Ryan Martin. Their goalkeeper, after a late minute corner where he came up to play it to be in the box, ball gets cleared out, and obviously the opposing team has a clear chance to go down and score on an open goal. So his plan to somehow sabotage that was to run behind, as you're seeing it here now on the video, run behind the opposing goal, get a ball, and punt it downfield to somehow, I don't know if he thought he was going to like peg the guy that was chasing down the open goal there. I don't know what the full plan was. It didn't work out, but it's just some amazing lower level soccer that you just for a minute there, you're like, oh, I missed the quaint and quirkiness of USL.
Usually this is something you would see like in maybe the English lower levels, where people would come out with like a can of beer while playing a game or something. But
right, yeah,
you
throw something, or the time that Landon Donovan put on some Oakleys that somebody threw at him while he was getting ready to take a corner kick.
This feels like an early betting line from the Las Vegas Lights era type of thing, where someone would have put a really odd bet down for this exact scenario to unfold.
Oh my God, it could happen. I mean, who knows if that goalie
and
actually
then the owner would drop cash from a helicopter at halftime, right?
With their mascot Chase or Cash, yeah.
Or their weed mascot. Remember?
Oh boy,
they had the dispensary partnership.
This is quickly turning into definitely a reminiscence episode.
Listen, fun times in USL. USL is going through it right now again.
That was,
and it does make you kind of miss everything that was USL soccer. Yeah. I mean, it was never void of drama and something ridiculous.
Never a dull moment.
Not at all.
DJ, what's cold for you?
Me, guys, I'm a big design guru. Maybe, I don't know. I do design for work, and things that really get up my sleeve are people that do design work that don't need to happen at all. And I have to go with the Olympique Marseille rebrand. If you haven't had a chance to see it, on the left there, you can see their old original iconic badge that they've had for such a long time. And they've now got this second-rate Inter rebrand that they've done again, just with a little bit more rounded corners. And the reaction's been as bad as you might expect. It's obviously been cleaned up. It's a little bit easier, to maybe print on some stuff. But you hate when you see a club give up something that's iconic for something that's just kind of devoid of the original personality and breadth that the club had before.
It gives, you're right, it does give Inter vibes. It gives very simplistic vibes. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it as bad as like Leeds' proposed logo change, but this is pretty minimalistic.
This was it was the logo no one asked for, and ultimately a reminder that this club, this European club that has been around for ages and then some, is currently owned and steered by Frank McCourt, who previously you might remember him from driving the Dodgers into the ground before they were bought up by the current ownership that did the exact opposite to them. Waiting for that ownership to do that though at my club. But a terrible, terrible American owner. When they take over your club, this kind of crap happens.
If you want a rubber stamp, then you've got it right there. That's exactly what it looks like. It just stamp the M there. We're done. Pay the man and go home.
It's just a reminder to clubs, you don't have to do this. Like, if you have an identity that you can stand on, use it. Be proud of it. There's not anything wrong with making a secondary, brand that you can kind of extend out to use in other applications, but don't redo your entire identity for the sake of just selling a few more shirts.
Yeah. I think even the NFL's had a few things where like the Titans and maybe even rumors that the Rams are going to have logo changes.
Yeah. Those kind of come about. I feel like this all stems from like Juve did their minimalist, logo redesign. And then there just seemed like so many other clubs were like, ooh, me too. I also want to do this. And honestly, I almost feel like Juve is somewhat the exception to the rule. Like they made it work, but it normally doesn't.
Yeah, they made it stick around. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was actually like good application of really trying to go modern. But even then, they were a club that had something that was working really well, and the fans didn't like it. And it's not been something that people, are clamoring to keep around any longer. But you aren't going to go through another rebrand after you paid someone millions of dollars to come up with the simple thing that they ended up doing for you. So you end up putting yourself in a real bad spot to go back. And Geoff, you brought up the Leeds United example a couple minutes ago. Like they at least had the stones to say, we messed up. You know what? We don't need to do a badge that looks slightly like a fascist salute as our actual crest, a cartoon fascist salute, if I remember correctly. So
it was not good. No, if anything, that's the coldest take of the colds right there. I'm going to go with my cold. I'm going to say anyone from Arsenal. They're being pulled out from every international squad due to fitness issues. I think they said about 12 players had been taken off teams because of leg issues, possible fatigue, possible red zone, overwork. And I'm like, you could say it's a plus. I think they're all faking it. I think that they know what they need to do to finish off the likes of Man City, but to have them all going at the same time, it feels like a very planned sabotage to get them all back onto the team.
This is like when baseball players magically come down with an injury right before the All-Star break, but mainly it's because they had already planned a trip with their wife somewhere. So they were like, oh, I can't back out of this. So I'm going to, my back. Oh, I'm going to have to, can't go. Can't make it.
This feels like someone.
Messi did that a few years back, didn't he? He tried to pull that with an All-Star game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. And he got suspended for it. Well, suspended for it.
He got a vacation for it, is what he
So,
did.
yeah. So that's my my cold take right there. I'm sure it's freezing if you're an Arsenal fan, but for a Spurs fan like me, I like it. And so just like this and many other hot and cold takes, just like the men's U.S. men's team, the weather in Cincinnati can flip-flop hot and cold. So it's never too late to get your furnace checked by Apollo Home. Or if you're ready for spring, give them a call and they can take a look at your AC to make sure you're ready for warmer weather. For a limited time, I hear that a new AC unit can be gotten for as low as $99 per month. So take advantage of that. Stay hot when it's hot. Stay hot when it's cold with Apollo Home. My first ad read live. Perfect. I nailed it. So
Boom.
Let's move on from there. Thank you for your hot and your cold. Let's talk international soccer. I feel that it is a great time to do it. All the games are taking place. If you are a massive U.S. Men's national team fan, you've seen what happened on Saturday, a difficult and poor 5-2 showing versus Belgium. So yeah, let's look at that. And let's also look at how the game itself looked. Gentlemen, I had a hard time looking at this game because it was hard to tell what team was what. What were your thoughts on the U.S. kits in their first run around?
It looked like a game where two teams had decided that they were going to do their own marketing thing. Like independently, hey guys, we have this kit to push. this is what we're doing. And obviously we all knew the US had announced that they were going to wear these 2 brand new kits for these 2 rounds of games that they have, or the international break. And Belgium knew that fairly as well, but undoubtedly they are in that push in their cycle where they're like, yeah, we got to push the away kit now. So I don't know why everyone was content to do this after, you have to talk about these things before the game. Maybe they all just thought it would be better than it actually was. But man, just from a viewing perspective, it was impossible to watch.
I was so thrown off that an actual official match where people are paying money, you're filling a stadium, the amount of hands that go into putting on a production like this, that at no point someone wasn't like, hey, this is going to be really hard with them both having like basically the same kind of like colored jersey. Should we do something about this? Like the fact that it didn't, like, nobody came in and got the situation to change and got someone. It sounds like I know. I guess the Belgian national team, or at least the press in Belgium, is blaming the U.S. for wanting to. They had just unveiled the kit with the red stripes, so they wanted to unveil that one first. Belgian national team only had a red kit, and then whatever that was that they wore over the weekend. Both apparently were bad choices. They picked the worst of the 2 choices to wear anyways. So it made it awful. But just the fact that, like, on such a grand scale like that no one's like, okay, we literally can't do this. Like, how the broadcasters, if someone didn't say like, hey, this is a train wreck. Like, you have to, like, we can't run this match. We can't have a match where 2 teams are roughly wearing the same type of jersey.
And I can see, looking at like the next opponent, Portugal, you're going to have a similar situation. Like Portugal's, they have solid reds for their home. They have sort of a whitish, greenish mint for their away. So I have a feeling that the US are like, look, we can't wear our home against those because they'll look bad. So, but they'll also look pretty bad against a Belgian team that have similar colors to them as well. So it just felt like either way, you're going to be stuck playing your dark blue for both games if you weren't careful.
Yeah, I do want to, like, I saw some people complaining, what if this happens during the World Cup? Will our kits clash with everyone? There is a rules committee in the World Cup that actually has to pre-plan and approve what teams will be wearing what. That's why you'll sometimes see like weird sock combinations that aren't the primary look that teams actually put together, because they can't clash or actually, look confusing to the players from whatever angle you're looking from. So I'm not really worried about this problem ever being an issue during the World Cup itself. But yeah, for this particular match, it was really terrible.
Yeah. The only other bad thing that was on display was the performance itself, I guess you could argue. The defense itself. U.S. showing with a 4-2-3-1 setup. I think they were sort of forced their hand into this because Chris Richard had a knee knock. Miles Robinson's been pulled out completely because of a groin. So you're stuck with Tim Ream and Mark McKenzie in the back. But it is what it is. You've 5 goals then go in because of the defense. Maybe asking you about this, DJ. What are your thoughts? Is this panic? Does Poch have anything other than a back 3 or back 5 to play with?
It doesn't make him feel good, right? Like there's no way around a 5-goal, shelling that you're going to come out of it going like, all right, well, I'm really confident about what we're going into the World Cup with. Injuries clearly playing an issue right now. Obviously players that we're very familiar with weren't involved in a way that we would have hoped. And having Tim Ream back there still as experienced as he is, he looks really slow against teams that have speedy attacks. And when you have a Jeremy Doku in the side where you have to constantly be worried about 1v1 situations, Tim Ream's a really exposed type of player. And, this particular combination, yeah, I think it is extremely concerning. But I think Poch will probably say, hey, we got our bad one out of the way, guys. Let's get ourselves back together. Let's get our system down tight. I don't think it's anything that's going to make him go, we're not playing the right system. I think it's just going to make him tinker with that system just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem you have with there being panic or no panic is, regardless, you don't really have the runway to make too many. You can't do a wholesale formation change. You can't, yes, there was a couple guys not available due to injury, but by and large, you kind of have the players you have at this point. And Poch has, he's had his time to vet out who he likes and who he doesn't like. So I don't think there's some other players under a rock somewhere that he's unaware of up until now. So it's panic because there's not really like a solution that you're just going to like fix it. You are kind of running out of time for that. So I think that's the real panic, is that you're still seeing some issues this late into it.
I think I mean, I like that this is the time where you can tinker a little bit, but I do worry that we tinkered a little too much you had Tim Way playing right back. I'm not sure if that's the time where you put someone back there who might not be expecting to be in that role. But I guess if you have to play and experiment, this is the time to do it. I just don't want to see much of an experiment the next game coming up.
I have to wonder if he was considering the Doku situation. I mean, they were basically playing against each other the entirety of the match. And, I mentioned, Reem is the concern there, and obviously he would be, but I wonder if Poch was like, maybe we can get the pace match, and maybe that's something that we can do.
Yep.
The problem is that pinned Weah back way too much. And I think the thought process was they could have McKinney out on that wing, kind of pinching inside, and you could create a little bit of an overload over there between the two of them. But he never had that opportunity to do that because he was constantly pinned back playing as the right back. And I don't know that that's really going to be the right way to deploy his talent set. And again, we're a little bit our hands forced there, right? Without Dest, someone that is, routinely always going to be an injury risk. I think he's trying to explore what options are available to us as we kind of go towards a World Cup where we may not have all the guys we usually want to have in the right spots.
You did mention McKinney, him pinching in and helping out there. We did see at least some evidence that the attack can work when it's played correctly. McKinney with the first goal before the floodgates opened up. Maybe, Jeremy, looking at that, is there any evidence that you're seeing that the attack can work the way that Poch had schemed it?
I mean, you got goal scorers. You got guys that can finish. You got guys that can do it in big games, whether it was Weah in the last World Cup or, obviously McKinney, Pulisic. These are guys that have scored big goals in big matches for the U.S. So that talent's there. It's just kind of putting it all together and having those opportunities. And obviously when you're going against opponents that are a lot stronger than some of the stuff you're used to facing in CONCACAF, your spots are going to be few and far between. So it was a bad game, but it also wasn't a game where I'm like, I'm not in crisis over that part. At least I think that the guys that can score are there. I'm not worried about their ability to do it. It's just kind of on that given day if they can find their moments.
Yeah, we can at least put together that the first 40 minutes, they looked stable. They looked fine. The first goal goes in, but right before halftime, Belgium scores, knots it at 1-1. And then after that, nothing happened. Nothing seemed to work. 2 goals before subs came in, and then 2 goals after that. I maybe looking at this, I was going to ask this later on, but you had also the likes of Matt Turner in goal. Was that sort of the right choice to make there between the pipes, or should they have gone with Matt Freese? Maybe asking either of you to pop in on that.
I think our lack of answer here is maybe telling part of the story, right? Like, have you ever been more unsure of who the starting goalkeeper is for the U.S. men's national team ever? Like, I know we've had some moments over the last few years where it's kind of been open for debate about whether Turner should be doing it or not. But like, I really don't feel like there's a clear front runner or challenger that really makes me feel any more remotely confident. And for a position that's just always been like our bedrock and our like standing and international profile, it really does feel like they have like nothing going on right now. Like, and this is a position that I'm just mega concerned about heading into the summer.
100%. I mean, exactly. This is the one thing you could always bank on with the U.S., whether it was Guzan, Howard, even Turner there for a while was that guy. And then you go way back into, the guys from the 90s. There's been always this just great consistency at that position. And it's not that we don't have good options at that position. I just don't think we have that elite level option. I mean, you look at the guys that are kind of in our pool for the most part, it's guys that are playing in MLS, whereas previous to that, you had guys that had rock solid starting positions in the Premier League. So I feel like we went from a point of real strength to just really not as much. And I really wonder, I was honestly a little surprised that it was Turner that got the nod to begin with for this match. And then when you kind of look at it, well, okay, yeah, there really isn't that clear option. There isn't that go-to guy. And I think I think we've kind of taken that position for granted over the past, 20, 30 years. And now we're kind of, we're up against the gun here with a World Cup where I don't think we have that guy that's going to be that guy that can really decide matches. I mean, you kind of think back to like 2014 and Tim Howard against Belgium in a match that we ultimately lose. He make like 16 saves in that one. Had this insane performance. I don't know if there's a guy on that depth chart that has that in him. And it's super concerning.
It's funny because I think while we're going into this World Cup cycle, everybody early on was thinking, is it going to be Zach Steffen? Is it going to be Matt Turner? Maybe even give Ethan Horvath a shout because he had played out of his gourd for one game. But with the lack of competitions and all of a sudden no play over in Europe, all three of them are now back in the United States. And it seems like all of our talent now is based in the United States. So that makes me bite my nails as well, that we're not prepared from the goalkeeper position.
They brought 5 guys into camp. Obviously, Salentano never actually made it to camp. But ultimately, 5 guys total were selected. All 5 guys are MLS goalkeepers. I thought Matt Freese was probably the closest thing to. I was actually expecting him to start. He probably would have been my top pick at the moment. I still think maybe you give the nod to Turner just based on the fact that he's been there before. He's done stuff like he's been in big matches for the U.S. But yeah, I don't know. It's a little concerning that we don't have that guy that has that pedigree at the moment.
Yeah, we'll see what we'll see who they give the gloves to for Tuesday's match against Portugal. So 5-1, at least getting towards the end, we did see a little bit of garbage time. Patrick Ajiman comes in, Ricardo Pepi comes in, and the two of them link up and they get a late goal. So that's maybe a little bit of confidence that you can get out of this game. But putting all this together, the attack, Balogun really didn't look great the way that he played on Saturday. For this game against Portugal, who do you start at the number 9? Maybe I address that to you, DJ.
Is this the same question that we just answered about the goalkeepers?
Just flip it around. It's the other way now.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, you got to give it to the guys who are actually producing a little bit. I think that's kind of the same reason why we should probably see a change at the back heading into the Portugal match too. Why not just get another look at another set of guys that are actually producing at the moment or, not doing poorly? I'm not necessarily thinking that, Balogun did a bad job. I think he's a good, back to goal type of striker. We do need a bit of a target player sometimes, but he's not getting into the channels, not necessarily producing the actual goal scoring opportunities you really want him to. So why not, give it to the other guys? Pepe is the guy that we all kind of wanted to save us when he kind of burst onto the scene a few years back. So, maybe this is his chance to actually prove, hey, put me on the metaphorical plane and include me in the squad and see if I can make a difference when we actually get into the summer.
Yeah, Jeremy, do you see any locks that you might want to see on Tuesday in terms of who starts, even if we're talking about other positions as well?
If we're talking locks, I mean, I would say there's very few locks I have, and I think that's kind of the problem we have here. I mean, obviously, I think I like the midfield for the most part, who they brought in. Obviously, you have guys like Pulisic and McKennie that you're playing every single match you can. Outside of that, I don't know. I don't think Balogun's not the answer up top, but I do. Yeah, I say you give Pepe a shot. I say you let him do it. I don't know. That's one of those positions where you kind of wonder if there was maybe somebody that just didn't get enough looks beforehand, and if we're selling ourselves a little short at that position, especially when these rosters are going to get finalized here sooner than you think. And I feel like we've done this in the past. You don't want to get to the World Cup and realize that you're outgunned at some of those positions.
Yeah.
And I fear that a little bit, that they might leave themselves a bit light at options there. So I don't know. I think it's tough. I think Pepe should get as much looks as possible. And really anybody else if they can between now and then.
It looks like it's going to be a different at least defensive midfield. I think Johnny Cardoso was sent home from an injury concern. Tanner Tessman was the other one. You're probably going to see like a Christian Roldan and maybe Seb Berhalter midfield there, which I would like to see. I want to see if Seb can do a little bit more. I mean, he's looked good and solid for the US. It'd be nice if we can see what he produces against a good Portugal squad that likely isn't going to play all of their good players.
Yeah, to be fair, I know Cardoso is going home. I know he had a short appearance. I think that was pre-planned for him to only make for a 45-minute appearance out there. But I thought that was probably the first time I've really seen him show his actual potential in the U.S. men's national team shirt. Like, I think he's at his tip top, one of our absolute best players. He shows it so regularly for his club, and I really like to see him do that. And I thought he looked really good, was able to hold play in a way that we don't normally have a lot of possession through there. You put him in there, with someone like a Seb, and I think you've got a good destroying pair that can kind of play deeper and set up some of your more creative attacking players with the chances they need to actually be a bit effective. Pepe, I like him to be involved in that type of equation as well. He's the type of guy who can not only finish, but also be a setup man. And, he proved that the other night as well. So I would love to see Cardoso hopefully get over this little niggle that they knew he kind of had coming into this match and hopefully get a shot to actually be the player I think he can be for the national team.
We got a quick question from Rupesh here. Is Tyler Adams a lock if he is healthy? I think the question is Tyler Adams ever going to be healthy?
Yeah, that should be the question. Yeah,
that's the bigger question I would have. I mean, I'd like to see him in there if he's healthy, but I feel like we had that question 4 years ago. We weren't sure if he was going to be healthy for the World Cup, and now we're asking it again.
I do want to, jumping back to the number 9 thing really quickly, I do wonder, why is a guy like Haji Wright not in the squad? Is the guy
he's been on fire.
Yeah. He's been, if you look at him in the championship, he is scoring at will right now. And you can say what you want about that. If you're going to give a guy from in the MLS a shot, you go ahead and give a guy from the English Championship just as much of a shot. I wonder if he's a guy that we're going to be at the World Cup and go, why did this guy not get on why is he not on the plane or the bus or whatever?
I think it's the same question. Yeah, I would ask the same question, especially since Coventry are locked to get into EPL, and he's been one of the scoring reasons for it. While he brought in Poch Ajamang, who, granted, he's scoring really well for Derby, but they're not where they need to be in championship. So it sort of is a head scratcher why Wright didn't get that call. Yeah. And that leads actually into our next portion here. We're going to go into our Go Beyond Player of the Week, and we're going to look at this game in general. It's hard to say that there are great players that came out of this game or ones that look like they were complete gold. But I want to ask, who do you feel was your Go Beyond Player of the Week? Jeremy, if you can maybe give me yours.
Yeah, I'll go Weston McKennie. Obviously, he has that first half goal. He had some good moments there. He looked solid. He's one of your best players on the roster, and it's important that those guys aren't ghosts in matches. And he really wasn't. I think, I mean, obviously he's probably maybe a little bit decent form than like a guy like a Pulisic who's not in good form at the moment. But you needed to see that out of your big name players. And at least from him, I feel like we saw a good showing.
All right. And DJ, who would you consider your player of the week, your Go Beyond Player of the Week?
I already tipped my hat towards him, but I got to give it to Cardoso. I'm a little bit obsessed with him as a player, really someone that I hoped our Spurs would have been able to pry away in the offseason. Not exactly the Atletico midfielder I was aiming for, but it's all right. I think if he is given the opportunity, if he can be healthy, it seems to be a repeated question that we have for U.S. men's national team midfielders. But if that situation's available for us, I'd really like to see him get a chance. So there's mine.
All right. And I'm going to give mine. I'm going to say, and I tipped my hand as well, I'm going to say Patrick Agyemang. If you're going to bring in somebody to fill in that depth piece, then and he scores in the game that you ask him to come in late in the game, it's good to see him get that call up and score. We need to have that happen in more games. Granted, it can't happen in a 5-1 deficit, but at least he's showing a little bit of fire. He's been killing it at Derby County. If you're going to have depth pieces at the number 9 spot, it's good to have your number 9 spot guy score when he comes on. That's all I can really say about that. And so those are our players of the week, our Go Beyond Players of the Week, sponsored by Beyond Exercise. Beyond Exercise is a Cincinnati physical therapy and fitness business that helps people of all ages stay active and fit. They also work with local MLS and MLS Next Pro athletes. And they're also the official physical therapy provider of the Manu Ledesma Academy UPSL team. See how they can elevate your health and fitness at gobeyondexercise.com. There we go. And we got the ad reads out of the way. I feel safe. No one's going to drop a lawsuit on me for that. Yes. So let's go to our next segment. We'll try to see if we can do this one real quick. Looking at the teams left over trying to qualify for the World Cup. These games are all taking place tomorrow. UEFA has 4 matchups, big matchups on the horizon. I wanted to get your maybe lightning round thoughts on which team wins. First off, let's take a look at Bosnia-Herzegovina facing off against Italy, who have not been at a World Cup anytime recently. Maybe DJ, who do you favor in that game?
I want to favor Italy, right? Like from just a pure World Cup perspective, I know they've missed out so frequently on major tournaments that it almost seems like a bygone conclusion that they're going to, crap the bed here again. But I really want them here because I think they bring an electric fan base to the environment, and I want them to be a part of our big party over here and try to make it a little bit better. So come on, Italy. I'm hoping you guys can drag along a couple 100,000 fans with you.
Jeremy, agree, disagree?
No, I like Italy choking for the lulz. I like to just laugh at other people's misery. So I'm going to go with Italy crapping the bed once more.
I'm going to go with Italy just because I remember maybe about a decade ago, one of the guys that was my dad's super basically came from Italy, and he was so mad that they didn't qualify. I honestly think that might be a reason that the rent got boosted up a little bit. So I'll pick Italy. We'll rest in. I think they're going to get over the line with that one. Let's go to Czechia, who managed to go through with a penalty kick win over Ireland, and Denmark, who basically whitewashed North Macedonia 4-0. Jeremy, who do you see going through there?
I'm going to pull for Czechia just on the fact that I want Pavlo Buka's chance at playing for the national team to stay alive. And obviously, if they continue to get matches and get into the World Cup, that little bit of hope hangs out there, and I'm for it.
DJ, agree or disagree?
I think Czechia will probably go through if I had to pick a team, but honestly, you look up and down that Danish roster and you kind of go, yeah, they probably shouldn't even be in this situation. So I'm going for Czechia just for the fun.
I'm going to go for Denmark. I think was it Gyökeres, the hat trick. I think he feels it. He's one of those guys I feel plays much better for country than for club. And he's practically the only Arsenal guy left. So I'm going to give it to Denmark. I feel they've got momentum. Next one, Kosovo, who got through from a 4-3 win over Slovakia against Turkey. Both of these teams, whoever wins this, is in our group. So, Jeremy, who would you rather? I guess, who do you want to go through?
Bring on Kosovo. Let's see it.
Yeah.
I don't want Turkey in there.
No. In agreement. There's no one I want less than Kosovo. So come on, guys, let's get in there.
Yeah, Kosovo did. I mean, they were down 2-0, if I recall, and they just took a 4 spot all over Slovakia before it got close at the end. Give me Kosovo. I don't want to tempt fate. I'll go with that. And then the last one for UEFA, Sweden, who got through with a win over Ukraine versus Poland, who won 2-1 over Albania. DJ, who do you've got?
I got to think the Poles are probably going to be the one that pull this one off. They've just got the experience in their squad. I think they've got a little bit more bite with Lewandowski up there. Obviously, he's just the difference maker that you really hope to, have in your ranks. And even at his advanced age, I think he's still got the goods to put them through. So if I'm picking, it's Poland.
Yeah, I'm with it. I think a guy like Lewandowski will will his team over the line. Obviously, for a guy like him, it's possibly his last World Cup chance ever. He's going to make sure it happens. I definitely think Poland gets through on this one.
I'm going Sweden. I think I'm going to pull for the home team in this one. Just call it a hunch. I think they've got it this one. And then the last two, which are international play-in games, we have DR Congo versus Jamaica, the Reggae Boys, with a 1-0 win over New Caledonia. DJ, who do you got in that one?
I mean, is there any way we don't go for our CONCACAF brethren here, right? We want to root on the Jamaicans. We got to get Omar Jamrock Cummins, involved in the equation again here, right? Maybe a late call-up. See if he can make a bit of a difference for us. But no, I'm definitely pulling for the Reggae Boys.
Reggae Boys. I think they're just the better team, and yeah, I think a World Cup with Jamaica in it is a better World Cup. They just bring the party. So I want them there.
Yeah, and this is probably Andre Blake's last shot at the World Cup. So give me the Reggae Boys. I think they get in through DR Congo. And then the last one, Iraq. They are the team on the bye. They will face Bolivia, who won 2-1 over Suriname. Jeremy, who do you got?
I want to see Iraq in. I want to see Iraq get through. That'd be cool. Yeah, bring them on over.
Oh, Kenta agrees with you there. Hey, Kenta, how you doing?
He knows what's up. He knows what's up.
Do you think they'll be allowed to come over?
Oh, that's the big question. Yeah,
sure.
I mean,
maybe
you don't know.
I mean, the team. I don't know if any fans are getting over here. That's probably not happening.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah. I'm gonna flip a coin on that one. I'll say Iraq as well. I just think that there are too many South American teams that are in there, but if Bolivia sneaks in there, I guess one more wouldn't hurt. So I'll say Iraq though, just for 50-50. All right, and that basically will close up our international break there. We're gonna put a nice big bow on that, and we're gonna close out this episode of the live shows with the episode of the jersey swap. Now, I always call it sort of this exchange of like, good vibes with the opponents, but we never really got to talk about the jerseys themselves. And I never got the chance to talk about it as well, because every time the new ones come out, I feel real good about what teams could bring in there. I know that I'm not going to show my hand, but I know that there are some teams that always crack it open. There's some teams that we're black, we're white, we're nothing on it. So maybe I'd like to open up here and saying, maybe over to you, DJ. What are your thoughts on the new FCC kit? I mean, I'm seeing it. I've seen some like tongue-in-cheek jokes about press button receive kit, the bacon kit. I've heard different names for it, but what are your thoughts on the design?
Yeah, I mean, overall, it's, I think, a pretty decent effort. I don't think it's like their best kit that they've had out over the last few years, but it's got some good character to it. I actually really love the name Bacon Kit. Maybe it's just because I love bacon, but calling it the Bacon Kit makes that kind of an appealing name to me, even, and makes me like it a little bit more than I already did. I think, it's really trying to make a little bit of an effort to call back to the diamond heritage, and there are diamonds in there, but, I may be a little bit of a homer in this particular situation.
Yeah, what you know about these diamond kits you speak of?
Things. I know some things, but no, I overall, I think it's a pretty good kit.
All right. And Jeremy, did we ever ask your opinion on the kit? I forget.
I think I gave it at one point, but it was just, I like the kit. The whole like fake, it's this kit.
Yeah.
It's a good looking kit. It was probably some sort of Adidas template. Let's just go with it being a good kit. We don't have to pretend that it represents something that it really doesn't. Does it represent the Seven Hills? Probably not. Probably just a kit that actually just looks good in orange and white. Can we just be good with that? Do we need to make a fake story? Let's not do that.
Yeah. I tried to like sort of tell myself, it's a combination of past kits. It's the orange kit. It's the diamond kit. It's the combination of all the palettes in the past, but more and more I look at it, the more and more I see it's probably something that was available.
When it comes to the white kits, I'm always in favor of whatever keeps them in orange shorts, because I love the orange shorts.
Yeah, I got to have I think an orange kit in the future as well. Let's hope maybe there's a third kit sometime in the future. I think we're bound to be ready for that. But I also know that when I listen to some of your past shows, you guys would always talk about the kits. So I sort of wanted to bring you in and sort of get your opinions on like what your top 5, top 3, what your best of the year kits are. So I forget how this works. Did you guys go back and forth on these, or
we would also give the ones we hated? That was the more fun part.
Do you want to?
That was always the best part. Yeah.
We're a very negative podcast.
Do you guys want to start with that, maybe to make it feel like home?
Whew.
Sure. I can rattle off a bunch of things I thought were complete garbage. Nashville's kit. Now I know DJ will fight me on this one because he's old school. I do not like the logo and the whatever emblem in the center. I don't like the center emblem.
I hate that. I absolutely hate center alignment. Look at that weird stack of logos right up the middle of that
what
shirt.
Are we doing?
It just feels like you're just trying to highlight the crevice that runs right down the middle of someone's chest. So no, get rid of that. That's weird. I hate that.
Yeah, it feels like somebody accidentally hit like a line center when they were doing these types of like templates on PowerPoint.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of it either myself.
I also really do not like the San Jose Earthquakes tie-dye kit. I know it's the dead kit.
Ooh,
cool. I don't like I have weird tie-dye. Just gives me bad flashbacks of like elementary school field day.
Oh my
god! And I'm just sweaty and want to go home. And there's somebody trying to pelt me with a water balloon, and I hate everything that's happening. That's what when I see a tie-dye shirt, that's all I see. That's all I feel.
Wait, you You don't like riding home on the bus in a completely soaked tie-dye shirt?
And you're all wet and you're like sticking to the vinyl seats. Oh my
I
gosh.
I think that's fun. No, I
Oh,
like that. The only thing that's weird about it is does San Jose have a particular hippie culture that we're supposed to be aware of? Is that something that
well, it's
is it
called
just
the
like
Dead
Yeah,
Kit. So is it supposed to be like the Grateful Dead?
they
I
must be?
guess
I'm
so.
not a
Is
dead
that?
guy,
I
so
guess
that's
that's like a
probably
Bay Area
yeah.
thing, maybe. I don't know. I don't care about
Yeah.
any of that.
There it
All
is.
right. Well, there it is right
There it
on there.
is.
So
Sure
did
enough.
my research there, but hey, but I liked it. I thought, it gave me fond memories of field day. So maybe you just needed a few more ribbons, Jeremy.
I
Speaking
got
of
no
needing
ribbons.
a few more ribbons or thing, I'm throwing Inter Miami's to the bottom of my pile. I had Houston, I had Columbus down there, but I'm throwing this. Oh, this was a waste. You knew that they didn't have to do anything special because everybody's going to want to buy a Messi jersey no matter what.
They've pumped out that same black kit for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
Got I, every black kit ever is a club just going whatever, right? Like that's how that's it's like, oh, we have to do something. Ugh, black kit, let's do blackout. Like it's such a layup. I may have been involved in that at one point or another, but it's something that when you need an easy answer and you want to sell it, black goes with everything. So let's just slap our logo on something that's black and we'll sell 1 billion of them, and it usually happens.
Yeah. And you're seeing also, I think DC United's got a black kit. Colorado's got a blackish kit. I'm not a big fan of those, but Miami just looked boring, and that they did it just for the sales.
One other one I really hate, because we are the podcast for haters. St. Louis City's like champagne.
What is that?
I hate that. That looks awful. That color has never looked good on anybody ever.
No,
that
really?
is hot garbage.
What
this
is
no
that?
good. Who's wearing that?
No one is rushing out going, I can't wait for that gold.
Yeah.
It looks like a bad drape that you would find on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
It does look like, is it black and blue? Is it white and gold? That argument from the past, that's sort of like meme worthy material. But I like that one. I actually think it's fine. I mean, it's different. It gets people to talk. I had this in like my top 15. I think it's fine.
Tina Turner.
Is that a Tina Turner kit?
Listen,
I kind of like it a little bit more, but that's also insane.
If you're gonna have that dress be what you're gonna inspire your kit, there's absolutely no way you aren't throwing that fringe on that, like that old Colorado kit from the NASL days when they actually had that, like the leather fringe. Right?
Oh yeah.
There is absolutely no reason that you shouldn't have that fringe on there.
Well, I feel like I liked it enough to not put it in the bottom, but that's my lack of taste in design. Let's see.
We hate it.
Well, let's see what you guys did like. I asked you to sort of give a top 5. So let's run through. Maybe you guys can do it back and forth like you usually did, or I can open up the
sure thing.
I'll
fire off my 5th best. I'm gonna go with Austin FC.
Really?
I like it. It's that white with the green stripes going up and down. I like those colors. I love that logo that they always put on their kit, where they don't go with the full one. They just kind of go with the silhouette tree looking deal. It's a nice one. It's got a bit of a candy striper vibe to it, but otherwise it's pretty good.
It does look like it might glow in the dark a bit.
It does give.
You're just saying things that make me like it more.
Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Does give a little bit of a mintier vibe to it than I first saw it, but all right, yeah, it looks decent.
Fresh.
DJ, what was your number 5 then?
I really like the Vancouver Whitecaps one. If you're going to do something simple, that really basic, one color design, you got to hit it with just a little bit of personality. And I love the way they took the mountains and water reflections of their logos and kind of brought that into the cuffs of the sleeves and in the collar. So really well done kit. If you're going to go simple, give it a little pizzazz on the edge.
So this is my number 4. And I just like it. It's nice and clean. And then all the elegant, smart things that DJ said about it, I also agree.
And that was my number 5. That we're lining up real good in this sense. I loved the top of it. It sort of gives me that vibe of like more, I think, what am I trying to think of? It just gives like a rooted location. I mean, it screams, Pacific Northwest, a lot like how Seattle's from last year did the same. I got those vibes from that.
It gives a little bit of like an indigenous vibe to it, whereas their normal crest doesn't normally pull that into it all on its own. And I feel like it's a kind of cool cross application of it.
Yeah. So Jeremy, you said this was your number 4. So let's see, DJ, what was your number 4?
I really dig the Portland Timbers one. It's a weird color. It's kind of like I don't feel like it's an appropriate word here, but it's got
definitely say it.
Yeah, a piss color to it. But I'll tell you what, there's something about it that it looks so weird. It's going to look really odd on Apple's super saturated broadcasts. And I'm looking forward to what that ends up looking like. But I actually dig the kind of inlaid design with it as well. I'm a sucker for Art Deco-y kind of inspiration. And I like that kind of application they've got there. So I'm intrigued to see what it actually looks like on the field.
It's got a goose in the logo, so I guess you gotta like something like that. It wasn't even close to my number 4. My number 4 was Sporting Kansas City. That one looks so good. I know that they usually lean on the hoops. They seem to claim that, but this one just looks so nice with the brilliant edges to it and just the different pops of violet and dark blue color. I loved this one, and it fits really well around the sponsor as well.
Dude, this works out great. This is my number 3.
This is
good,
perfect.
good segue there. My number 3. I love it. It does have, I don't know what those music notes are for, but I'm excited about it. It does have like a slight like bowling shirt vibes to it, but it actually works this time. I do think I owned a polo that looked a lot like this when I was 7, but the colors are good.
Excellent. We're lined up perfectly here. What's your number 3, DJ? So
I'm gonna let Roop down here pretty bad when I say that Minnesota United's excellent looking number kit. I'm sorry, Roop. It's my number 3, so at least it got it in my onto the podium places for me. They normally just knock it out of the park. Like their branding's always just been spot on, and I really can't think of too many kits where they've struck out entirely on anything. And this one's another one. They just have a great way of applying their brand. The callback with the original sash. It's a good looking shirt. Really, really love the way it is. It's one of those clubs that I always go, do I want to buy someone else's shirt? I don't even support them, but I might get it. It looks good again.
Yeah, this one was my number 2. This one, I didn't like it at first. I thought it was a little too inverted. I didn't like the hint of a sash. I like it better with the sash. But the more I looked at it, the more I tended to lean closer towards it being really good. But that was number 2 for me. All right, so I think we're into our number 2s then. Jeremy, what was your number 2?
I'm gonna go with Atlanta United's. It's called the Spirit of '96 kit. I guess that means Olympics. That's what happened in 1996 in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It was. So this is the Richard Jewell kit. It looks pretty. I don't know. It's simple, but super nice. I love the cream. I love the off-white. I'm always a fan of that look. And then obviously with the green trim. They went completely away from all of their colors. Outside of like a little bit of like a gold and like the lettering. But it looks super nice. It's just a really nice, clean looking kit.
I will spoil my own, and I'll say this was my number 1. I think just because it was so different from what Atlanta usually has, their ways have been sort of haven't been great for me. But for somebody who was down in Atlanta for college back around the time that the Olympics were hitting, this brings back a lot of nice memories, and it's a perfect encapsulation of what the gold medal.
Okay,
like.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did not put it all together until you showed that little image there. That's great.
I don't know what it is. I love the inspiration for it. I was actually at the 96 Olympic gold medal match for soccer, which if you ever look up the lineups that Argentina and Nigeria rolled out for it, it's a truly insane collection of players. I actually hate that jersey. I can't get over it. I don't know what it is about it. Yeah. Yeah. It almost made my list for hate, Jeremy. So I'm just here trying to throw stuff in your face.
Just a bad guy.
We may never do this again. What was your number 2 then? What was your number 2 then, DJ?
I hope this wins your affection back, Geoff. I love the New England Revolution throwback kit, right? Like it's got just the ties back to the Reebok era and early, MLS 96 vibes. I kind of dig that. And I really like that they're really trying to play into their history despite having a lot of mockery in their history. Like looking back, that's a pretty ugly Revolution jersey. Like it's awful, but it's cool because it's awful now. It's like that old Hull City kit that's got the tiger stripes that it was so bad that now it's good. Like I would love to have one of those now, but this New England kit really throws back to that era in a way that I think is kind of cool. And I can't get over the old school vibes to it.
Yeah. This was just outside of my top 5. I put it at number 6, and that might have been more for Homer vibes too. I thought it was very good. I thought it definitely gave you sort of like a rear view, back view, forefront, rear front. It looked really good. So it just missed out for me. But I guess this means we need to have a drum roll for our number 1s. I already said what mine was. DJ, Lance, do you guys have the same one or different ones?
We do not have the same one. Because you've already said mine. As I often do on this, I go with Minnesota. They just don't miss. We've kind of already said everything about that one, but it's just every single year they come out with a kit that I'm with DJ. I'm like, can I justify owning this? Does this make sense? I at least have like my whole dad's family, my father's from Minnesota. Like I can kind of like cling to like stuff like that. But still it's completely ridiculous that I would want to own it every single year. And every single year I want to own the kit. So there you have it.
Number 1. It's a great choice for number 1, but DJ, apparently you don't have Minnesota at number 1. So who is your number 1?
I don't. I have been a sucker for so many of their kits. Anyone who knows me, I have such a design preference for Art Deco. I love LAFC's kits. They're just, right. Every time they suck me back in and I get sucked back into the Art Deco stuff. So just the clean gold, thin kind of lines within it, a lot of symmetry, just so many callbacks to some of the other things they've done in their past. I've always been a big fan of their crest too. So LAFC, and maybe I'm getting hit with some Sun bias too.
I was gonna say you just want a reason to buy a Sun jersey.
My son is literally begging for this one, so we'll see if at least one of them lands in my house.
No, when you were talking about the Portland one and you mentioned Art Deco, and I was like, well, I already know what his number 1 is then.
Yeah, gave it away, breadcrumbs.
I never said what my number 3 was, but it was LAFC, just because of the same idea. It was. I love a good tessellation, and anything with Art Deco really just screams good vibes. It's a great jersey that you want to wear. I didn't see that with Portland because of the color, but this one, you can't go wrong with black and gold.
Well, and the LA, their whole original branding was that old Hollywood Art Deco vibe. That's where you get your colors from to begin with for this club when they founded it. So yeah, it was they almost were obligated to at some point in time make this jersey.
Yeah, pretty good selection of jerseys, I must say. We definitely, I think, see eye to eye with a lot of these. Mine being Atlanta, Jeremy's being Minnesota, and DJ's being LA. I wouldn't be caught dead wearing them, but that's just also me being a homer for my own teams. But yeah, we've gone past the 60-minute deadline here. This is pretty awesome to have you back. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad you can join me for this very special episode. We'll definitely be talking more about FCC next week after their matchup against Red Bull New York. I believe that's what we have to call it now. But I want to open up this floor to you guys. I always do it for the end of my episodes. Final thoughts, final opinions about anything. Let's maybe start with you, Jeremy.
I have no opinions about anything ever. I'm a man void of thought or anger. No, hey, if you're the Potch out crowd, I don't know what your plan is. What are you gonna do? You're gonna fire a manager like 2 months out of a World Cup? That's suicide. You're an idiot. Like this is the guy we got. We got him till sometime in July. Deal with it.
All
Back
right,
your team.
I will say the same thing. It's too late. We're handcuffed to him. Go with what brought you here. Thank you very much for being in the co-host chair tonight. I'm glad I was able to sit here in the throne.
I enjoyed not having to spend the whole day prepping.
As
evidenced by my answers.
Thank you very much. DJ, thank you for joining us. It's I really miss having Wrong Side of the Pond every week in my my podcast cachet, but yeah, thanks for coming on. What are your final thoughts?
No, I definitely, I don't know if you guys have touched on the U.S. men's national team kits much yet. I'm sure you probably have had some segment time devoted to it, but I just want to call back. I'm so glad that the U.S. went back to like identity in their design. I have been saying forever ago that I wanted them to pull back into kind of the hoop design. And I think I wrote an article like back in 2011 that was basically calling for them to have some sort of identity within their design group and calling back to the Waldos, calling back to the denim kits. Yeah. Identity problem was something I wrote in December of 2011 when we were kind of adrift with logo, design hopping from all over the place. And I think it was really cool that they brought the players back in and they said the exact same thing. Like, can we actually have a kit that looks like something that we grew up watching? And I'm really glad to see the US go back and get the hoop kits back in the equation and try to give ourselves a little bit of visual identity. And I'll say this, the next kits that they put out after the 2026 World Cup are going to be like black, right? We're back and due for a black kit, right?
Yeah, we're due for a soulless nothing burger of a black kit.
I'd be happy if they bring. I'd be happy if they bring the polo colors back. I think that was one of my favorite kits that got stolen from me after a U.S. friendly. But the black one isn't bad. The one I'm wearing right now, the Clint Dempsey throwback, it's not bad. But
just bring back a version of the Centennial. What with it being the semi-quincentennial that we're currently in this year?
250th.
Yeah, that could work.
We want that jersey.
I was a little worried because Maine brought in their version of it, but then they called it the Lighthouse kit. I'm like, okay, it's fine. The US can have their Waldo kit. It's not that big a deal. Yeah.
Getting Landon in it was a smooth move too. So
that was wise.
Probably a hefty check for that as well. So I want to thank you both. My final thoughts, and I go to this all the time. Hey, it's US Open Cup week again. I know we're going to be watching a lot of the qualifiers tomorrow for the World Cup, but the next round is opening up this week again. And I'm totally into it once again. It is going to be some really nice matchups. I'm hoping that I can see another matchup with, I forget exactly. I thought it was maybe Rhode Island and Hartford playing each other up in New England. But this always gets
where
me.
Are these games being broadcast?
Good question.
Is this on like Fubo TV again, or
some of them
Flow
are?
Sports. I think it's got to be Flow Sports.
Flow Sports. Oh my goodness, we're really going flashback with that. I think it's something like you can watch some of them on YouTube. I think they'll end up
Paramount
showing
Plus.
them on something like Paramount Plus. I believe them.
Probably. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But pick a team and support them. Even if it's a team you might want to hold your breath about. But seeing like the Charleston Battery travel to Charlotte Independence, that's a real flashback to USL days. Find a game, watch it, support your local soccer. That's what I got to say for this week. So yeah, we're way over the 60-minute deadline, and we can definitely call it there. Jeremy, DJ, thank you very much for getting back together. Hopefully, do we get to hear you guys at in the future for more podcasts?
Sure.
Yeah, we can't rule that out, right?
Yeah, we never rule it out.
We won't tell
Kirby.
you when.
We're like Kirby Enthusiasm. We'll randomly go, oh yeah, we're gonna do a season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's how it should.
It may be 2 episodes, but we'll do one.
Yeah, it'll happen.
It will happen. It will happen.
Or it won't.
Yeah.
On behalf of myself, make sure you can contact us, feedback at CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. You can check us out on the World Wide Web. You can check us out on all your social media presences, on X, on Facebook, on Blue Sky, on Instagram. I'm sure if we had a Fubo account, we'd have that too. But thanks on behalf of myself, on behalf of Wrong Side of the Pond. We'll flash back here. Watch your tackles. Shout out to Nick Superling. Thanks a lot, guys.